Hi everybody, Steve Degnan, advisor, board member, and former chief HR officer with the first of 6 quick takes on before and after layoffs. This occurred to me because I got a few questions about the latest job report. Some people wanted me to do quick takes on that, and that's a big mixed bag of complicated stuff that's going to keep changing, and I'm a little late on that. So I thought the better thing to do would be to offer, to get into the reallys with some constructive advice, which everybody's worried about, like what if something happens to me? So let's get into it. Part 1 of these 6 is going to be all the time activities you should be doing to, as the scouts say, be prepared in case some adverse employment action comes your way. Let's get into it. Number 1, internal networking. Make sure you know all of the extended networks of people inside your current organization as much as you can. And you should be adding them to your LinkedIn list of contacts methodically over time, and making some meaningful connections and having conversations with them. Force yourself to do it. If you're an introvert, it takes a little bit more energy, but you should. Why do you need to do this? Because if they leave someday, they may end up somewhere that's got a great opportunity and they could think of you. And if you leave, you're going to need them in some other capacity. They could land somewhere, like I said, or you could be somewhere and need other talent. You just don't know. So they're the most convenient and accessible connections. Make the most of them. Next, networking outside. Of course, that makes more sense in case there's a layoff and you need to find ways to tap into external networks using the connections and the discipline that you're in. So think about, what are you? Are you a marketer, a salesperson, a supply chain person? I was an HR person. There's an organization called the Society for Human Resources Management. There's a local chapter. I could tap into that. Those organizations exist for all of those disciplines. That's a good place to start. They hold conferences and meetings. Dip your pinky toe into those kinds of events to start building your external network. Next, consider adjacent moves internally. They say moss doesn't grow on a rolling stone. My observation during my career was that people who tended to move around methodically and not just willy-nilly and had an agenda for every couple of years trying to upgrade or move and learn something new, they were better positioned than somebody who stayed and did something for 5 or 10 years, where things can happen around you in those circumstances. And that's not for everybody, and that can be difficult, but it's something to think about. Next, know how you are perceived. There are things like 360 reviews internally you can tap into if they're made available. Self-awareness is a really critical skill and capability. Unfortunately, only about 1/3 of the population really has great self-awareness. So you need to find ways to do a gut check and find out how you're perceived. I'll leave it at that. Use your trusted friends and family, if nothing else. And finally, for today's quick take, all the time learning. Embrace that. Always have something that you're learning of a technical nature or something in your discipline, because you're going to be asked about it in any job interview. In the next part, we're going to talk about intangibles you should be paying attention to. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for listening.